In Arsenal's biggest game of the season against Arne Slott's Liverpool, the Emirates was treated to a 2-2 thriller. Let's just say this game was very interesting. So from Mikel Arteta's first half tactics and a resurgence of Bukayo Saka, an in-depth look into the role of Mikel Merino, a masterclass from Thomas Partey, and an in-depth breakdown on all the controversial decisions. As per, let's break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from Arsenal 2, Liverpool 2. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Basketball Teen. Welcome back to your boys channel. And there was quite a game at the Emirates Stadium. There's so much to break down and a lot that happened. So as per, smash like on the video if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and help your boy on his road to 300,000 subscribers. But starting off with Mikel Arteta's first half surprise. Going into a massive game at the Emirates Stadium, there was 2 players on Arsenal fans' minds, Bukayo Saka and Jurrien Timber. So when they were both seen arriving to the Arsenal first team hotel ahead of the match against Liverpool, it was no surprise to see they were both involved in the Arsenal starting line. With Mikel Arteta saying before the game they were putting their bodies on the line by starting, saying they were already doing that and they are playing because they feel good. Despite not being fully fit, despite having missed so many games, Bukayo Saka and Timber were both excellent. And in terms of the star boy, he was the star of the show, a man of the match performance, scoring his 4th goal of the season. Saka now has 11 goals and assists, dropping a 7.5 rating with 1 goal scored, 15 accurate passes, 2 successful dribbles and 5 ground balls won, playing 85 minutes despite it being not fully match shot. The first half we saw a different level of Bukayo Saka, stronger than ever before, unstoppable against Andy Robertson, the way he shrugged him off for the Arsenal goal and the ruthless finish as well. I loved the way that Bukayo Saka was seen celebrating, shushing and saying keep talking. That's now 50 Premier League goals for Arsenal, becoming the youngest ever player in club history to do so. He's also the 7th youngest in Premier League history, behind the likes of Harry Kane, Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney and Michael Owen. It's the cheek that people have to say this guy isn't world class despite performing at such a consistent level. How can you look at those numbers, those names, and not see his blatant quality? In his Arsenal career, Bukayo now has 120 goals and assists, 62 goals and 58 assists, despite starting his career as a left back. What we're seeing this year is a captain's arc in Bukayo, taking the Arsenal captain's armband in the absence of Martin Odegaard, not just stepping up in terms of performances, but it's the way he commands the ball on the right hand side and everything goes through him, providing Arsenal moments almost like a Mo Salah, a Kevin De Bruyne. That first goal is an example of world class quality, up against 2 experienced defenders of Robertson and Van Dijk, ruthlessly dashing a player to one side and bashing it into the back of the net. This image here is quite telling. Bukayo in that first half was electric despite not even being fully match shot. It's because he's reached a different level of character evolution, not just realising his quality but also playing with it as well. There's an arrogance in this game that we've never seen before. At 23 years of age, he's competing with the very best in the league and the world. An integral part of an Arsenal first half that was very dominant, with more possession and a 0.8 XG, 2 big chances and 6 shots at goal. Despite Liverpool equalising, Arsenal remained the dominant side, growing even more after the equaliser and showing real authority. Of course, it was another set piece to take Arsenal into the lead. And having talked about in the summer of Mikel Merino, 6'3", dominant in set pieces, it's no surprise to hear that he was the goal scorer, producing himself a very solid 7.2 rating, with 1 goal scored, 47 touches and 28 accurate passes. Defensively, we also saw 2 interceptions and 3 tackles as well. At the start of the game, I won't lie, he was a bit shaky. But as he grew into the game and started to thrive more on the left hand side, he was picking up some fantastic positions. You then look at his heat map and you notice something straight away. Not only was he influential deep in the left hand side, but he was always trying to crash into the box. So when he scores a goal from that specific area, having also missed a massive chance as well, you then had his fantastic touch towards the end of the first half. It was the first time that we've seen Merino properly play as a left number 8, not only helping Gabriel Martinelli going forwards, but influential on the ball, picking some fantastic passes. We've talked about the left hand side growing with the arrival of Mikel Merino, and where in recent games he was playing more as a number 10 towards the right hand side, this game was an example of which environment he thrives in most. In possession in that final third and also trying to sustain pressure, with Merino's elite ability to win the ball back and be a fantastic duel winner. Not only can also better sustain pressure, but with his first ever Arsenal goal, he's also a goal threat. But moving on to the second thing, the second half dilemma. In a game that Arsenal looked in full control, come the second half there was a major moment. Gabriel Magalhaes taken off with the injury, holding his knee, which of course is very worrying. Replaced by Jakub Kiwior, this was a massive punch in Arsenal's gut, already missing 2 first-team defenders. No Ricardo Calafiori and no William Saliba. You could sense straight away there was a lack of confidence in the Arsenal side. Without their 2 stalwarts at the back, there was a lot more nerves. But as Bukayo Saka says after the game, yes, Gabby is a big player for us, but it's not an excuse. We have to adapt and we have to do our best whoever is on the pitch. There's 2 ways that Arsenal fans can look at this. One, you can feel sorry for yourself and cry about all the injuries. But the second thing is finding a way to adapt. Jakub Kiwior isn't the level of Gabriel Magalhaes, but by no means is he a bad player. That's why my issue was the fact that Arsenal became so defensive in that second half, almost looking like they were playing with 10 men. The amount of times in the build-up phase Arsenal weren't playing out of the back and choosing to go long instead, giving the ball away and allowing Liverpool to regain possession. At the end of the game, Arsenal had an XG of 1.14, slightly higher than Liverpool's 1.10. But in the second half, we only created 0.05 of that between the 43rd and 81st minutes. That for me is an example of a team that lacked a little bit of belief. First team players might be missing, and I'm not asking for perfect football, but you have to try to stick to your principles. Better utilise your fantastic attackers like Martinelli, Trossard and Bukayo Saka, instead of giving the ball away time and time again. If you don't agree with your boy, you might agree with Mikel Arteta, saying there should have been a bigger score in the first half. They came out in the second half and they didn't have courage. In the first phase, we needed more courage to play. We created some big opportunities. A lot of people will see that and say Mikel might be being harsh. But when you're versing a side like Man City, who have not lost a league game in 326 days, we're at a stage now where there is no such thing as a point gain. When you've got 11 men and you're at home, as great as a side as Liverpool may be, you have to find a way to be more threatening. Show courage on the ball and try to play your way out. Because as we saw after Liverpool scored their goal, with the introduction of Ethan Nwaneri, Arsenal were automatically more threatening. Moving on to the third thing, a Thomas Partey masterclass. Starting as a right back against Luis Diaz already had 5 league goals this season, playing out of position and a lot of fans worried going into the game. Let's just say Uncle Thomas stepped up. With a 7.2 rating, 3 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 interception and 5 tackles. A whopping 9 out of 16 ground duels and 4 out of 5 in the air, all while having the most Arsenal touches with 79. In the first half he was especially dominant, not letting Diaz past it, defending fantastically 1v1. Another game where you see Thomas Partey find more rhythm. In the past few games, I'd go as far as saying that he's been Arsenal's best midfielder. Playing more and more games this year, he's starting to find more and more of his natural rhythm. Progressive as ever with his passing and making less and less mistakes. We're starting to see why Mikel Arteta has kept him part of the first team this season. There was a lot of doubts, including your boy at the start of the year. Had Partey lost his legs? Was he past it as a player? But what we are seeing now is a resurgence in confidence and self-belief. A player looking just as assured in possession as he is now off the ball. But the thing I really want to focus on though is Declan Rice. Starting as a number 6 once again with Partey move as a right back. Rice was back at his best with a 7.8 rating, 1 fantastic assist, 64 touches and 44 accurate passes, 4 accurate long balls and 1 big chance created, with 3 monstrous interceptions and 2 tackles. This game was an example of why Rice is better as a 6 than as a number 8. When given more space to cover, he's far better in transition, with an elite ability to win the ball back with his long legs. You also can't forget his impact when it comes to the Arsenal pressing. Rice is fantastic at reading the game when the game's in front of him. So whenever a team tries to play out, Rice is able to show his elite ability to jump. Fantastic in terms of eating up ground, covering massive distances and helping Arsenal stay secure in transition. He almost gets more freedom as a number 6, allowed to utilise his strengths on the ball in possession where he's so secure, but also showcases elite defensive ability that makes him that special player. As great as Thomas Partey is as a number 6 in terms of progressing the ball, when it comes to that extra bit of security in these massive games, Rice as a 6 may be a little bit more suited. I also want to give praise to Ben White though, producing a 7.0 rating. Starting as a centre back in the absence of William Saliba, with 1 fantastic assist and 6 clearances, alongside 46 accurate passes. Despite playing as a centre back, Ben White now has 3 Premier League assists in 2024, which is more than Trent Alexander-Arnold. With all the talk of Ben White's future as soon as Jurriën Timber came in, would he be able to break back into his Arsenal side? I think a lot of Arsenal fans, including your boy, forgot about his reliability. Often always available and as importantly versatile. In a game like this, he really stepped up in the absence of William Saliba. So with all the injuries that Arsenal have in defence, the importance of White in these next 3 games is going to be massive. Moving on to the fourth thing, controversial decisions. Do I want to be talking about the referees once again? No, I don't. But are we going to have to? Unfortunately so. Starting off with the Virgil van Dijk incident in the first half. Right at the start of the game, seen kicking Kai Havertz twice with his studs. The referee saw it, but he chose to give nothing, not even a yellow card. And I just wondered to myself, imagine that was an Arsenal player. Imagine we go back to Granit Xhaka. I've got an inclined feeling the VAR would have intervened because I've seen it happen in the past. But that wasn't even the most blatant, by the way. What about this potential penalty on Gabriel Martinelli in the 31st minute? Taken out by both Konate and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Once again, I didn't see VAR check it once, not overturning the referee's on-field decision. I'm not sure about you guys, but to me that looks like a clear and obvious penalty. Does Konate even win the ball when he clearly takes on Martinelli, who's closing into a goal and maybe even taking a shot? Even when Arsenal were able to score a goal from Mikel Merino, the fact that it took the offside that long to get confirmed, it gets me questioning why have we not seen the introduction of semi-automatic offsides yet, when something so blatant takes so long for these guys to decide. But the real controversy came in the 89th minute. With Arsenal chasing a winner, Jakub Kiwior clearly wins a header, And just as the ball hit the back of the net, you saw the referee had given a foul. The real telling part is when he decided to blow the whistle. It's not straight after the foul, but just as Arsenal looked like they're about to score. I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but even Liverpool fans after the game believe they got lucky in what could have been a decisive goal in the title race. Anthony Taylor intervened so soon that VAR couldn't even intervene. Even if you disagree with that, right towards the end of the game, Arsenal had a clear corner, where the linesman can clearly see it, by the way, which was once again not given, with Gabriel Jesus getting booked after the game for complaining to the referee that Arsenal should have a corner. So we're at this stage now where even referees get stuff blatantly wrong. If a player is as much to question them, he ends up getting a yellow card. We often talk about the Premier League being the best league in the world, with the best players and the best managers and the most investment. But when are we going to talk about changing these referees? You think about the games in the Champions League and all the European referees. Yes, sometimes they will get things wrong, but 9 times out of 10 you don't even talk about them, because they're so good at doing their jobs that they don't end up making the headlines. You think about the World Cup and the Euros, and often you have a lot more European referees than you have English referees. It's so annoying for fans because we can't really do much at this point, apart from applying pressure towards the PGMOL. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think that Arsenal robbed of a goal? Moving on to the 5th thing, all to play for. A 2-2 draw after a 2-0 defeat in game week 9, Arsenal find themselves in 3rd. After Man City beat Southampton 1-0, they move first on 23 points. Liverpool second on 22, and Arsenal third on 18, 5 points off the top, with 5 wins, 3 draws and 1 loss so far this season. I've heard a lot of Arsenal fans saying after the game the title race might be over. Sky pundits coming out and questioning our mentality, and while I do agree with some level of criticism, at the same time I'm not going to go over the top on game week 9, where we're not even a quarter through the season, and Arsenal have had so many key players out injured. And you also have to ask questions towards Liverpool. They might have had a few players out injured, but they came to the Emirates with the key players available. Van Dijk, Salah both there, and likewise Trent Alexander-Arnold, against an Arsenal side that had no Saliba and no Calafiori. Saka had only just come back and Timber went off injured. Then no Gabriel Magalhaes for most of the second half. Instead of hearing questions about Liverpool, I'm hearing all the questions about Arsenal, who have now gone 550 days and 13 consecutive games without a single defeat against a Big Six. We've actually now matched our first 13 games from last season with the exact same record: 8 wins, 4 draws and 1 loss. And the further context behind that is that Arsenal have not lost a single league game this season when they've had 11 men. When it comes to after the game, according to Roy Keane and Theo Walcott, Arsenal weren't missing many of their first team players. That despite us not having our captain available, one of the best centre-backs of world football suspended, for a red card by the way that was not given this week, despite it being even more obvious and blatant. With all the talk that Arsenal are lacking that creativity, in terms of the most open play chances created since the start of last season, Martin Odegaard still ranks top despite missing most of this year, with 93, who's not even currently available. Then you come to this game and 2 more further injuries. Jurriën Timber and Gabriel Magalhaes both taken. After the game on Timber, Mikel Arteta said, "We've done everything we could to accelerate the process," and he was so willing. The medical staff did amazing work, and I don't know the extent of the injury, if there is one. The same would be Gabby. In the case of Timber, I don't think it's going to be too serious, and I say that because, to me it looked more like crap. For Gabriel Magalhaes it remains to be seen. But to any Arsenal fans that are writing their team off 9 games into the season, these 3 games are around the corner and they could be defining. Newcastle away, Inter away and Chelsea away, as William Saliba looks to make his Arsenal return. Hopefully Bukayo Saka can stay fit and available, and we might even see a return from Martin Odegaard. Being 5 points off the top is never going to be ideal, but you look at Man City's fixtures compared to Arsenal, they are still yet to play Spurs or Liverpool, nor have they played in form Aston Villa. Those are games that Arsenal have already played with 7 points out of 9 by the way. It's very easy to go over the top right now, and as Arsenal fans we do get emotional. But at the same time, with all the context behind the team right now and all the players missing, I'm not going to let 1 defeat and 1 draw change the entire course of my season. Because looking over past years, there is still a long way to go. There will be twists and turns. Next up for Arsenal is a game in the Carabao Cup away at Preston North End. Now that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was the 5 things we learned from Arsenal to Liverpool 2. A draw and not quite the 3 points in what was an eventful game. Big games around the corner though, and there's still a lot to play for. So my Arsenal fans, hang tight, hope for the best in terms of injuries, and I'll see you next time. Take care, in a bit.